everybody's got an opinion right now on the Juan Soto situation with the New York Mets. And the situation last night with Juan Soto, coming off the disastrous weekend against the Yankees, where the Yankees take 2 or 3 in the Bronx, and Soto gets booed the entire time. And I think it's less booed because we hate you and more booed because we're laughing at you. Like, it's obvious that you wish you were still a Yankee. You took the money. God bless you. And Soto's not hustling on Sunday night. He's loafing on the Bellinger Grand Slam. Like, at least, make an effort, Juan, for the millions. I mean, every 2 weeks, this guy gets paid like $250 million. And that's only a slight exaggeration. Like, show some effort, Juan. It's become a huge story. And then Soto looks at the story, and he sees that the story is on fire. Like, this isn't just smoke. There are flames. We can see the flames. And Juan Soto says, you know what? No. I don't just want a kindling. I don't just want a brush fire. I want this son of a bitch to be a towering inferno. Let me go get this here gasoline and pour some of that gasoline on this here fire. Because last night in Boston at Fenway Park, Soto hits a ball, right? And he's admiring this like it's like the Barry Bonds moonshot off of Ted Lilly in 2001, which is the farthest I've ever seen a baseball hit. Except, in Boston, going out to left, you have this thing called the Green Monster, which at times, and it happens a lot, tends to keep balls that would be home runs in other parks in play. So Soto hits this ball. He's admiring it again. Like the Sistine Chapel has just been completed, and Michelangelo gazes skyward and says, look at what I've done. That's Soto watching this ball, except it's never going out. It could have been a double if Soto, busts his ass out of the batter's box, but he's loafing, he's gazing, he's admiring, and it turns into a single. And I mean, just as, I know this is a little New York-centric here, but I'm a Yankee fan. All I think about is the 2021 wildcard game, Yankees-Red Sox at Fenway, where Giancarlo Stanton just missed 2 absolute moonshots that hit the top of the Green Monster. Garrett Cole starts that game and the Yankees lose. I mean, we've all been watching baseball for a long time, right? Even if it's not your number one favorite sport, you know that this happens in Boston. It's really actually inexcusable. And I'm not even saying this to pile on Soto a little bit, but I mean, you could be curtain jerking Jabroni, last guy off the bench. You could be $765 million Juan Soto. You can't have this. It's terrible. Carlos Mendoza, Mets, who had an awesome first year as Mets manager. He's in for it now. Because now this is all anyone wants to talk about. So after the game, Carlos Mendoza says he's going to talk to his star, Juan Soto, about that play. Soto's asked about it, and he says, I've been hustling, and you can tell if you watch the games. There's no way Juan Soto's stupid. He's not stupid, which means he's a liar. Because it's one of the two. You can't say, so he says that, you watch the games, I'm hustling. We do watch the games. He's not. Is he lying or is he stupid? It's one of those two things. He's obviously lying. And it's a terrible situation for the Mets, who are awesome. This pitching staff is way over its skis right now in a really good way. The Mets pitching factory is cranking him out. He was like failed Yankees closer Clay Holmes. Who's been all, the Mets starters have been good. Alonso's been awesome. Lindor's been Lindor. The Mets are 10 games over 500. They're really good. They're really good. But now, for as good as they are, they could win tonight against Boston. And if Soto goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts, all anyone's want to, and his body language is poor, it's all anyone's going to want to talk about. Imagine you're Pete Alonso. The Mets are awesome. You're the leader of this team. You're Francisco Lindor. The Mets are winning. And you're getting asked about Juan Soto and his body language. This is what it's going to be. And I think this factors into some bets that we can potentially make. Now, I'll say this about Soto before we get into the bets and before we get to the NL East. And I will give a Juan Soto specific bet at the end of the show. Now, Soto's batting .246 this season for the Metropolitans. Not great, but he's Juan Soto. He's one of the best hitters. Is it too early to say of all time? Probably a little too early to say of all time. One of the best hitters of this century. He's one of the most talented hitters we've seen in my lifetime watching baseball. I mean, he's going to get it turned around. He's way too good to struggle the way that he has. So I think Soto's going to get it turned around. And I think he will eventually silence the doubters, and I think he will eventually silence the critics. But you got to get this sooner rather than later, because it's not like the Mets are in an easy division here in the National League East. Because don't look now, but the Phillies are rolling, and in the standings, the Phillies are currently in first place in the NL East by a half game over the Mets. And it's not just the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, remember on the show when we talked about early in the season, the nightmare start for the Atlanta Braves. How brutal it was at the beginning of the season. Don't look now. The Braves are now over 500. 5 games out of first place in the NL East with 1 million games still to play. Spencer Strider's on the mound tonight, making his second start of the season, and you would think that Strider's gonna start rolling, right? Because he's awesome. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is hitting missile after missile in rehab. Just smashing in the minors. And there are reports that Acuna could return as early as this weekend when the Braves play the San Diego Padres. 5 games out of first place. Coming into the year, I don't think anyone thought the Phillies would stink, but there were questions about the Phillies. They've been great to start the season. Would it shock anyone if the Braves made up ground on the Phillies here in the regular season? Wouldn't shock me. Would it shock? Stop me if you've heard this before. The Mets have a lead over the Braves early in the season in the NL East, and Atlanta catches them. Soto's situation threatens to engulf this team if he doesn't get right at some point soon here. The Braves right now, plus 380 to win the National League East, 5 games back. It's not even Memorial Day yet. I love that. I love that for the Atlanta Braves to win the division. That's a bet for me. And I like parlaying it with a bunch of things. How about the Braves to win the NL East with Naz Reid over 1.5 threes tonight for the Minnesota Timberwolves? Saying there are ways to do this here. I do think when it's all said and done, the NL East will send 3 teams to the playoffs. The Mets, Phillies, and Braves will all make it. And I like the Dodgers might be, even though the Dodgers are struggling, the Dodgers might be the best of the 6, the 3 best teams in the NL West and the 3 in the NL East, but I think the NL East on average is better. So I think the NL East will send 3 teams, but if Soto doesn't get it going sooner rather than later, and he will eventually, I think this threatens to derail the Mets here and open up the window for Atlanta.